Hello, this is Stu Statistics here, and I'm gonna talk about heroic on the not so quick analysis. They're ancient in the past. I have talked with some people and said that it was unorthodox because the way they play the CT, the positions of some players, I felt that it was weirder. But it really changed my mind. I think that is a good approach to the map, and I hope to see them play more in the major of this map. They only played against FlyQuest. So the CT utility is very standard today. Do the casual smoke plus Molotov right here in the lower mid region. The Molotov on the catch room interesting, and also the HI on the wood region. They play very standard. The only thing that there is sometimes weird is this Molotov right here on the top of the ramp, but they used to stall the T side rush on this region. So it's more a situational Molotov, not a default. On the A side, they really like to pay attention to this region of the map because you have a stronger some payloads AWP present on this region of the map, and other teams have a tendency to ignore this A side. Meanwhile, Iraq puts a lot of effort in protecting it. And this reflects on how Tinir plays top mid, while some payloads is playing the pitch with the WP, and Xfloud. In this setup, Xfloud plays towards the donut because they're playing defensive, waiting for some pushes between the side right here and right here. And they also have a tenure position A, as I said, they really like to pay attention on the A side of the map. They protect and play a lot towards this region of the map, forcing the utility to move the cheese towards mid or A. And right here we see how tenure is playing the tempo region. We see some players sometimes with the WP, sometimes with the rifle, but mostly with the rifle, playing top mid. And because of that, Xfloud is playing very centered towards the donut because he's waiting for Tiner rotation. So Tiner rotation starts donut, and both will play together from mid. So they like this position to start Tiner and rotation. Because of that, we doesn't see the Molotov right here. Something that we need to pay attention. They only play smoke and sometimes occasional flash tries the catch region in case the T's are going to push to transitions to catch. The default mid is very standard. Sniper nest, Sampaios with the WP. Meanwhile, with Sex Cloud playing very closely to outside the donut. Meanwhile, it's something that I even talk about with some players that is Tiner plays off position the donut because we usually see the second player in the donut playing right here and right here. Meanwhile, Tiner plays very close to A because, as I said, they really value the A side position. Mid WP, this is interesting setup because they play this some casual. They even play against it was against Falcons, if I'm not mistaken. That Tenier plays with the rifle in this position, and Sampaios plays Dunnet in one side, and Xloud plays Dunnet in the other side, crossing the angle right here in case the Chiefs are going to push. And because they're already giving this part of the map a lot of protection, this enables LNZ to move from cave to get room and plays advanced. And this Molotov right here is very interesting because since they're already blocking instead of the casual door casual door smoke, they protect this region from any pushes. So he plays towards this side of the map, ignoring all this region. And they also have an old cheesy strategy. They played a lot in the past, and recently I didn't saw in the demos that I watched. But I think that is still valuable because since you are in the major, since you are in a high stakes, this cheese can take one or two extremely important rounds. And this cheese round, we see how LNZ is right here on the donut. Sampaios is playing on the top mid region, and Tiner is all the way to the catch. So Tiner will go right here, and right here. And we see this combo Molotov, flash, sorry, smoke, flash, and then Molotov right here. They usually play this cheese stretch in a very fast-paced timing with early rounds in the map. The B default, Youngster plays the long angle, LNZ plays very close to the catch room outside cave, and then we see the standard HI and then a smoke on the doors. The B AWP together with an agro mid. This is a very interesting play because Sampaios isolates the long angle together with a flash. Then we have two players on the catch room, LNZ and Youngster with on a flash. And also we have Xcloud and Tiner very close, so they will play from main to right here. They ignore this part of the map because they don't need it since they're crossing the angle with the two players in the cat room and the two players on the mid. What is important to take is that since they value a lot the side, most of the teams think that they have at least one player in this region of the map. Meanwhile, we see that some players playing on the long angle. So this is a very interesting change of pace on their game. The T side utility is very standard. I think they do a really good job. If it is smoke, top mid, that they will choose the only one usually. So you will never see all this triangle in the same time. But it's important to pay attention because this flash is standard. They like to pop off the flash mid. It means reach say mid, but on the central region of the mid. Meanwhile, early smoke on the top of the ramp on the catch, very standard for the cheese approach of the map. Something I was requested by feedback from some viewers is that I should isolate the lurkers on the map. And this is something I want to talk about now in the next few videos. So again, if you have some suggestions, feel free to reach me. I'm very open to feedback. And in this part, I'm going to highlight how each lurker acts in the map. Not at the same time. Sometimes it will be 4A, 4B, 3 mid. So these are going to describe the overall look of the lurkers. The plays a very strong lurker. He often goes towards the cat here and then to the box right here. Tinir plays the passive lurker A side that he often transitions towards mid. Meanwhile, Xfloud isn't a lurker, but he has such a presence on the mid rounds that I think that is important to highlight his presence on the mid part because he'll take early aggressions alone. And then sometimes some players will play right here to cover him, but he acts a lot on the mid map. So I think that is important to also show his position in the lurker section. So if you have some suggestions on how should I tackle this part of the video explaining the lurkers, feel free to comment. Okay. Now moving on, and a rush on the T side of the map. They like this flash instead of the Molotov. Other teams like to play this Molotov to kick out the WP on the pitch region. They prefer flash, that I really like this approach. And then we have the combo flash tempo, smoking the connector A, and then the Molotov on the box. Youngster plays the last man. This is always important because sometimes you will be fast forward right here, other times you play right here along this angle. They really like this approach with Xcloud starting and then Sampaio to trade him because since Sampaio will have the WP on some rounds, he has the long angle right here. And now a very interesting first and semi-buy they like to use a lot. In this approach of the map, they split Youngster plus Sampaios. Normalmente in this first buys, you see Sampaios with a scout, a WP, or a very closely apple like Galil. Meanwhile, Youngster has the lower weapon, Deagle, or maybe just pistols. LNZ plays from the T spawns. He like to set up the utilities, the smokes, the molotovs, their flash. He's the +1 because they have a tendency to play a slow round. Meanwhile, as I described on the lurkers, Xcloud you play very fast and quick. Throw medium of the map, you take some initiatives duels, you take some attempts. Meanwhile, Chinir is playing the lurk instead of LNZ because LNZ is focusing on the support. So they give this Molotov inside the cat, Molotov at top rank, and attack the A side. So it's not about information gathering. And now something that I need to talk because Xcloud has this position mid that he plays a lot and very often. But in order to this position to work, they rely on these mistakes of their opponents. I know that they're playing major and the teams won't commit mistakes a lot, but well, major stakes are high, pressure is high. They are currently 1-1 as the time I'm recording the video. So maybe the teams fumble, and then when the enemy teams fumble, Xcloud will exploit it. And the exploit that I'm going to describe is very easy and interesting, and I really wish the other teams did it more because I think that is very effective. And the first consistent of the CTs like to throw the smoke plus Molotov. But sometimes they committed the mistake of giving too much space, giving too much of a gap that can be exploited. So Explode will push this smoke and look if there is some space. If the CTs miss the position of the smoke or Molotov, because they use either of one, he will enter in this space. And since the CTs are think that he may be right here or inside the smoke, they aren't waiting for a player. So he'll come out from the second smoker, will rush the Molotov and take a duel. And since the CTs aren't expecting, he takes a lot of kills. He used to abuse this a lot in other games, and I think that is a very strong position. But again, relies on the mistake of the CT, missing the smoke, missing the Molotov. Mistakes happen, and he will exploit. Me to be. This is a very slow approach. They take step by step in a very methodological approach to the game that I think very interesting to see because they use a youngster in the lower mid as a backup player, so he plays all this region key together with the A side. Meanwhile, LNZ plus Xcloud will go from mid, builds these two smokes right here to block the city's vision, and then transition short cat, and then enter cat room. And in the split, we see Sampayus in the B side playing AWP together with X-Teniers, right here on this part of the map. So they will both together with follow up with the flash and then enter in a simultaneous attack. They won't wait for the CTs to react. They will take maybe 15 seconds right here, 20 seconds right here, and then attack on the same time from cave side and to ramp. Because when the CTs are rotation, they're rotating from the backwards, rotation from short and then from long. So the idea here is that their attack is simultaneous. The AWP that may be on the B side will have to react. Just Sampaio ignore this part of the map. It is very interesting how they play. They did it against FlyQuest, and I think that was very effective. And then the quick rush B. I think that is very interesting how they isolated one player right here. They cut this region to keep it and always a door open because the city may have a player inside the catch room. They may have inside the cave, even though they're cutting the connection right here with the Molotov. And it's a very playbook standard. For players, they push ramp and Molotov on the top of the ramp to move out to the player, the flash to blind this place that won't be right here. And also sometimes they will play a deep flash or deep Molotov on this position to remove the AWP from the CTs. It is a very fast pace. It's something that you must pay attention that this movement happens with 30, maybe 35 seconds in the round. And that's it. I hope you enjoy it. Sorry about my voice. My voice, I have some pain on the throat, the correct road, throat. And it's hard to talk. And I really wanted to record those videos because I really would appreciate the timing from the major to make my YouTube channel grow. It's a question of time. I need to keep making these videos, but this pain is like a cat snatching my throat. Sometimes it's hard to say, so sorry for my voice on the video. That's it. Bye. Have a good day.